What do you mean there's no Inferno in Heroes of Might and Magic Olden Era? What's this? This isn't Demon faction, this is Lava Bug faction. But Inferno is my favorite faction. How can you have a Heroes of Might and Magic game without Inferno? But of course, no one ever cares about Inferno anymore. Oh, I bet they just don't want to offend people with the demons. That's why they didn't add in Inferno. No, these are not the reasons why Heroes of Might and Magic Olden Era doesn't have Inferno. If you didn't know, Heroes of Might and Magic Olden Era is about to release into early access, and some people are confused as to why we have this demon bug faction with these bugs here. And, well, where's Inferno? Well, according to the lore itself, the story and world of Heroes of Might and Magic, the events that introduce the Inferno faction into the game, into the world, well, those things don't happen for centuries. This is a prequel. It's Olden Era not just because this is an old style of game with modern improvements, but it is also a prequel to Heroes of Might and Magic games. So this is set in the past. That's why the factions are all kind of changed up. And the developers themselves said, well, they wanted to add in Inferno. It's one of the favorite factions, but the lore says it wouldn't make sense at all. Then some people say, well, who cares about the lore? We just want the gameplay. And that's what the Hive faction is trying to do. If you look at what the Hive faction is, it kind of is Inferno. It fills that spot in the gameplay mechanics, but it's not demons because you can't have demons because the lore doesn't work. Now, when it comes to the Hive faction, there's a number of things that you should know about. So I can give you an overview of what this faction is, and then you can see if this is a suitable replacement for your favorite Inferno faction. So when it comes to these factions, you can have a look at the cities. There's this stuff. When it comes to building structures, most stuff in Heroes of Might and Magic games, the structures are the same: bank, treasury, that stuff. But each faction tends to have their own focus on what resource they can produce themselves. So different factions can produce different resources, and you have to go out and find the ones you can't produce. So the Hive faction has this resource depot that produces crystals, and the alchemic depot that produces alchemical dust. People have also been saying that, oh, where's sulfur? And it's because, you know, sulfur was more of an Inferno thing, so sulfur's not a thing. It's replaced with alchemical dust. There's also this Beelzebub's hand, which grants +2 attack to any visiting hero, and there's this Sacrarium Redetti, which allows a hero to revert to level 1 once. The hero receives permanent bonus to their attributes that depend on their level at the moment of the ritual. So there's a certain hero bonuses from these structures. You produce crystals and alchemical dust, and their chorus conductor up here means all friendly creatures gain +10 attack in battle, +50% lucky strike damage, including from hero spells, and the city's dwellings produce 100% units. This is the more ultimate building there. The rest, all this is just producing unit buildings, the fortifications, treasury bank, and the town center stuff, Mages Guild. That's all the same. Other things to note are the faction laws. There's certain things here which focus on what this is about. The unit stuff is always here on the right side. It's kind of the same. The left has certain things like laws of the Hive. Requirements for unlocking higher laws are reduced by 2. So this allows you to speed run down to the bottom tier a bit faster. There's also producing more crystals and hero spells costing less mana, and Hive heroes see exact information about neutral squads. You know, there's a lot of focus on heroes and or making heroes more powerful, and then also crystals and alchemical dust. Lots of crystals are required. We need a lot of crystals with the Hive faction. So if you're going around in the Hive biomes here, you might often see these crystal veins, which you would want to get even more of. So note that when it comes to the other resources, things like ore, gems, mercury, and wood, there's not much focus on Hive for that stuff. So you want to go find sources for those things, like this wood mill or this ore mine. And different factions have their own resource priorities. Some can easily get mercury, some can easily get gems, some can easily get ore. So you have to play to the strengths of your faction. Now, when it comes to the units, it is very interesting and might be familiar if you like Inferno. One thing, the main thing to note here, is that there are no ranged units, except for one. the Pyroboros. This is the only ranged unit in the Hive army. None of these, even the modifications, the other variants of these units, none of them are ranged units. And, you know, it can be a problem. Like, even the ultimate unit here, the Hive Queen Mother Huntress thing, it's a melee attack, and there's just not much range at all. Only the Pyroboros, but this is a very strong ranged unit because the ranged attack is actually splash damage. And if you use this properly, just a good stack of Pyroboros is gonna destroy the enemy. My other favorite unit is the Maniacal Reaver. The movement speed is insane. It can move, like, a lot of these units move very fast. So see, this has 8 speed. This has 7 speed. So 5 speed is quite slow, but this has 9 speed. This has 4 speed. So this is slow, but everything else is pretty decent speed or fast. This Maniacal Reaver can run across almost the entire battlefield and does an insane amount of damage. So a good stack of Maniacal Reavers and Pyroboros is going to get you through a lot of stuff. Stinger moves even faster and can fly, so it just flies over all sorts of things, you know? So the units are pretty scary, but the main weakness is lack of range, which does mean when it comes to deciding what spells you want to get. If you check the Magic Observatory, there's certain spells that can help with stuff in terms of maybe just defending your units until they get in range, or you can get things like Blink to help teleport units up to 4 hexes and then run forward or something to get them around to where they need to go. So movement can be an issue because things just need to get in range. But the Pyroboros is actually really good. So I'm just going to go and attack this city here to give you a demonstration of what you can be doing. So this should be a pretty easy battle. I'm going to battle here. Now this is the Pyroboros. I'm going to stick it right there so that I can demonstrate it. And my other favorite unit is this Reaver thing. So we've got the Hive Mothers and the Scorpions and the flying thing and these parasites. These things hit hard and they have the long reach attack, so that means they attack 2 tiles away instead of 1. But they move so slow and it's like they just don't get up there. They're the tier 1 units, so it's kind of annoying. So this, you can see here, this the Maniacal Reaver is one of my favorite variants, and you can see how far I can run. And you can see it pretty much one-shots any of these stacks. All of these stacks this Reaver will kill. So note, we're also against Hive here. So we're fighting Hive units on the other side, which means they don't have the Pyroboros variant, which means I know they don't have any ranged units. But look how far this worm can go. Almost up to our starting position. So I'd rather not get in range there. So for now, I'm just going to step my Reaver up there. And I'm just going to wait here until they come into range for me, because I know they don't have range and I do have range. So I'm just going to wait right there. Now this Pyroboros, look at this. This is where the damage really comes in. It's splash damage. And this whole right side here, watch this. This is with half damage. You see the 50% there? It's half damage because it's long range. So units, ranged units in Heroes of Might and Magic on these battlefields, they don't have range limits, but after a certain distance, it does half damage. And even at half damage, it does this. They're gone. And we can just wait right here, and wait right here. And you can step up, I guess. Maybe I'll bait something over to come hit me. But, yeah, so I just want to show this parasite doing the long reach attack. Oh no, we wiped that out. I might be able to do it on the next turn. They have their own Reaver thing. But here, watch this. This Reaver can move a lot and just kill things. So you can just run right through, all the way to the back, and just one-shot things. High morale. I could go finish this off now, but I'm looking... You're gonna move next. It's probably gonna just hurt itself on something. So I'm just gonna let it... We'll let the parasite do its attack. At least we... Oh no, okay, great, this is great. So the parasite is there. So I can now... So see the flying thing can just fly around. It's very nice. I could shoot it, and right now it doesn't do friendly splash damage. But one thing you should note is when it comes to heroes, one thing I haven't demonstrated is actually the hero abilities with Hive. There's a favorite of many is the Summon Swarm, which allows you to hatch some, well, lay some eggs, and there's even ability to actually hatch them, and then you get like explosive bugs that spawn out of there, and they can be very distracting. The enemy has to deal with them, or it's just an extra unit that you have on the battlefield, and they can self-destruct. They're like banelings in StarCraft. They can self-destruct and blow up and deal a lot of damage if they're not dealt with. But you can destroy these eggs with friendly fire. So the Pyroboros, even with the splash damage, it gets rid of the eggs there. So you have to be careful. If you lay eggs near the enemy, then your Pyroboros shoots. Your splash damage could break your own eggs. Anyway, I just want to show the long reach here. So this has to attack from a distance, but it's a very satisfying whack, by the way. Whack! And there we go. Victory on that. We lost a few because I was just showing stuff off, but we captured the city. Great. So there's a lot that can be done with things like this in terms of just how the Hive faction works. Now, to properly show off the battle here, I'm going to just go ahead and attack this stack of enemy here. And I'm showing stuff off, so I might not win. I could just accept this results here, but I'm going to go into the battle here so I can actually show some stuff off in terms of how things go. So we're starting here. The dragon's gonna move next, then we've got Pyroboros. So I want to stay out of range. And yeah, so I'm gonna move up here. I'm also gonna cast some spells. So I have Carapace. It's not my turn right now, so hold on. Yeah, you do your thing. Okay, I'm gonna cast Carapace because I want to protect my Reavers. Now, in terms of my other stuff, I'm actually just not going to move up too much because there's splash damage stuff, so I want to be careful. Now, this Pyroboros, this is how you win battles. The splash damage. Look at this. We could take out 2 of those dragons, but I don't want to do this because that Murloc guy is protected. I can instead shoot here and really deal some damage on that side. So the splash damage from the Pyroboros goes a long, long way, especially at the start of the battle here. So I could have, for example, done a spell to boost the Pyroboros damage. And this is a great opening to just really clear stuff off before things can happen. Now, I'm gonna just spread out my units here. I know the dragon can breathe fire, so I'm gonna just keep a distance here. For some reason, the enemy really likes trying to take down the level 1 units, so that's always a thing. I'm gonna put you there. Now, as long as the enemy doesn't... Oh, double shot on my maniacal Reavers, huh? As long as the enemy doesn't deal with the Pyroboros, we can keep doing things. Now, look how slow this guy moves. Just carrying that bug. It's a human with a giant bug on the head there, so it's really like not doing great in terms of movement there. So here, obviously, we're against the dungeon faction. So this is a battle example of these units against the dungeon faction. Understanding what these units do and everything is quite important. Checking my spellbook here. What do I have in terms of other stuff I can do? I could fireball. I didn't really focus much on spell casting in this particular game. So what I could maybe do I have something? Does 20% more damage. So I'm just gonna buff up my Reavers here. And we can really take out a good stack. And see, because this Reaver can move so much, I can really position them where I want them to be. And I'm gonna go over here and try to deal with these Hydras somewhat. There we go. Take out 16 of them. That stack is pretty scary. And with high morale, the stack is gone. See, these units from Hive can be really scary, actually. Oh, the dragon's gonna do something. Okay, not too bad, not too bad. Nice. A small stack of dragons doesn't do much. Now, unfortunately, none of the enemy units have stacked up much. This is still protected, so I don't want to waste my shots. So I'm going to go ahead and take out more than half of this stack right here. We've got 27 Pyroboros. Look how much damage it does. Also, while I'm doing this, I can go ahead and lay some eggs back here. Now, they either have to deal with it by attacking it or casting a spell at it, or it's going to hatch. So we'll see what happens there. Now, let's go ahead and attack this. Lovely. Now, this can actually finish off the dragon. Just some hornets. Nice sting in the back there. And then my, I don't know, brood mother, hive mother, queen mother, whatever, can finish off this stack here. Great. So it looked like we were gonna be losing quite badly here, but with some nice strategies, we can actually do quite a bit. Now, this unit is not great. I don't really use this much when it comes to these units. The locusts, you're supposed to like swarm them up. Pyroboros is just so much better with when you're focusing things. But also, I should note when it comes to these units, there's a hive spawn. So when there's this thing where it's part of the hive mind that serves a powerful lord from beyond. Fallen hive spawn count towards the power of necromancy, reanimation after battle. So quite often these hive mind, hive spawn, there's these hive abilities. For example, here at the start of the battle, for each other unique hive creature in the army, this creature's attack is increased by 1. Whenever this creature kills an enemy, it generates 2 focus points. So this is actually an army where you want 1 stack of everything. So because I have 1 stack of every type of unit, this then gets, attack increased by 1 per. So my attack, which is that one, 54, I think, this is actually increased by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 because of my army. And each of these units have something like that. For example, there's also this soul assimilator at the beginning of each battle. You get bonus. This unit gets bonuses based on what faction is on the other side. So the other side has dungeon units. So this hive queen gets plus 10% damage just from the enemy having a type of unit. So the hive faction has these things where it wants you to have a lot of like diversity in terms of your units, and it wants the enemy to have a lot of diversity in their units. And this would also mean this, which one was it? Soul Assimilator. If you're up against an enemy that uses diplomacy to recruit units from all kinds of factions, then if they have a temple unit in their army, well, you get plus 25% attack. If they have a skeleton in their army, well, you get plus 25% defense. If they have just 1 unit of a faction in there, you get that. So the enemy is giving us plus 10% damage because they're dungeon. And if, let's say, they just had like 1 neutral unit in there, we would also get like plus 2 speed or something. So how these units work, Hive wants everything to be different. Different in your own faction, so everything is different, but it all contributes to the same goal. But it also wants the enemy to be different, you know, all the enemy units being different and contributing to your goal as well, distracting stuff. Anyway, these locusts, I'm not too much of a fan of. We can use that to break this shield there, which is no worries. I'm not a fan of locusts. It's fine. We're gonna take some pretty nasty hit there, but it's okay. Pyroboros is not being damaged too much. That's a little bit annoying there. So it's our turn now, and what you can do is premature emergence to go ahead and hatch these eggs somewhat early. There we go, and we just have a stack of 233 fire lava, and they can self-destruct, dealing a whole bunch of magic damage, or they can even jump and self-destruct, dealing a bunch of magic damage at a bit of range. And also upon death, they just explode anyway. So once they've hatched, they're a danger regardless, particularly to anything that's melee ranged. So now this scorpion is here. We can use the scorpion to take down a big chunk of these minotaurs. Yep, that's fine. And here, look at this. You're gonna stab that, okay. We're gonna retaliate. And then we can go ahead and fiery embrace. We don't have to jump, but you see it does like damage as well. And see, I can actually jump onto the Medusa there, but I'm gonna just retaliate here. Jump! And it does some damage. And that was just a free unit. This unit had to go back, attacked, got counterattacked, and then we jumped and self-destructed. And it took out basically half the stack of these guys, these troglodytes. I keep calling them murlocs because, you know, but these toxic troglodytes, their whole turn and half the stack was spent dealing with that fiery bug, which I spawned from nothing. Anyway, this is a long reach attack, which means no counterattack, so just give it a whack. Bang. So this has its uses if things get up close and personal. Now, this unfortunately has... I don't know if I have any decent spells here. No, it's fine. This stack, unfortunately, is pretty well spent, so I'm just gonna go ahead and... Oh, what? We survived that. Oh, okay, that's good. It's a Pyroboros now, and we could wipe that out. We could deal significant damage there. This stack here is kind of scary, as you can see, so I think I want to pull this down. And I don't know if they'll change this in future, but right now, as far as I've tested, this does not do friendly fire damage. Let's find out. Yeah, no friendly fire damage, but it does break your laid eggs. So for example, I'm gonna go ahead and lay more eggs there. What you gonna do? Now this Hive mother can just walk up and... Ooh, I could also deal a nice... Now let's go engage in this. And deal with this stack so it's not so scary anymore. There we go, just take out 177 of them in exchange for 1. And now they're gonna shoot some stuff. That's fine. This protection. So we could now maybe fly over and do something. Or I could just spend this dealing, like taking the counterattack from the Minotaur. So there can't be more counterattacks. Oh, we survived that. Great. Oh, there's some spells there. Okay. Yep, this stack here is pretty scary, so we gotta start dealing with that. Minotaurs are gone. You're trying to stab the queen there. The counterattack will get rid of the shield. Now it's our turn again. And I don't have many spells, so, well, I could just cast some thick hide. Actually, do I have, I can't cast Carapace, so it's fine. I'll just cast thick hide to, what are we controlling now? The scorpions? Yeah. Let's do that. And we can take out another chunk of these. Ah, they hatched. Haha. And I can walk up and... I've only got 5 of these left, so they're not great. But Lucky Strike. Oh, that was good. Then we die. It's fine. Now we got the Pyroboros, which can deal with pretty much any of these stacks. This unit here is kind of scary. That stack's kind of scary. Let's bring this down. Also, before I forget, let's just lay another egg. And then I can actually afford to hatch it immediately. Look at that, we just have even more units adding to our move timer here. So we'll do a blast there. They're now pretty much nothing. We can almost finish them off. Counterattack won't do much now. I can go ahead and do a big chunk there. Great. Now they're gonna do something here. See, so they have to start, like, the heroic strikes and spells and the Medusa shooting these bugs, you know, like, they're just such great distractions, because if they don't take them out, well, we're just gonna attack them and deal the damage anyway. So now, for example, here, I can use this bug to just attack here and delete the stack with a unit that isn't even a thing. And I can also, for example, I could just say blow up, for example. Bam! So just to demonstrate that that's a thing. I wanted to show that before... let's lay eggs there. Before we end the battle here, I just wanted to show that they can blow up. And now we can just... Oh, here, for example, this is how you break the eggs on accident. So you don't do friendly fire damage with this shot, but if you shoot an enemy like this and the splash hits the egg, it will break the eggs. So just keep that in mind there. Oh, they're finally shooting my Pyroboros. Okay. So hopefully this gives a clear enough demonstration of the whole Hive faction. If you have any particular questions about the Hive faction, do just ask down below. I'll answer questions. I can go look it up. You should have a pretty much good gist of what this faction is. I can do a heroic strike. Might as well. And I don't know if I can Fiery Embrace from here. No, it can only reach, like, over there. No, it can only reach 2 tiles over. So, like, you could, for example, do it on the ground as well to damage things. But yeah, ask any questions you like. Is this a suitable replacement for Inferno for you? Because we can't have Inferno. The lore, as in the story and the setting and the world, does not allow for Inferno to be a thing here. But there we go. That is how the Hive faction works, and hopefully this explains everything. So yeah, there you go. That's the Hive faction in Heroes of Might and Magic Olden Era. Let me know what you think. If you enjoyed this video or found it interesting and or useful, just press the like button down below. You can subscribe for more. I've got some other Heroes of Might and Magic Olden Era videos on the channel, some more overall gameplay overviews if you want to check those out. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you in the next video.